Hello, my fellow Americans. Welcome to Liberty Prime, where we talk about politics and crap. I'm your host, Aaron. In the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, Chaz slash Antifa has renamed itself to CHOP. I don't know. Brilliant. We are already making fun of you. Now let's make more fun of you, I guess. Quote, Seattle, the 6 to 9 block area of Seattle's Capitol Hill neighborhood, currently occupied by protesters, has been renamed from Chaz, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, to CHOP, the Capitol Hill Organized or Occupied Protest. Organizers of the Occupied Protest Zone, which now surrounds the abandoned Seattle Police Department's East Precinct building, say they changed the name because they're not trying to be autonomous from free local governance. Frick no! You already did this! No takes backsies. Once you succeed from America, that's it. The military comes in and let's just say you don't want to be hit by American firepower. You don't want to have a Nagasaki too. What they want, they say, is systemic change too. Though Black Lives Matter's organizers and community outreach officers with Seattle police say the occupiers have hijacked a movement for police and racial equality. Now that's actually my favorite part of this, is that Black Lives Matters are saying that they're trying to separate themselves from the idiots in Chaz. And yes, they are idiots. I'm gonna use an ad hominem. They're not that smart. Because, I mean, let's look up the definition of idiot. Definition of idiot. A stupid person. They are a stupid person. A person of low intelligence. That matches these guys perfectly. But in all seriousness, however, police chief Carmen Best said in a video message to our police that was not her decision to abandon blah blah blah. Mayor Jenny Durkin has agreed to the following reforms in response to the protests. You can't, because I believe this is the little thing about U.S. foreign policy, don't negotiate with terrorists, and these guys, they're basically terrorists. They're terrorizing people outside, inside. Let's look up the definition of terrorist. Definition of terrorist. I can't spell, but whatever. A person who uses unlawful violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims. Now, actually, I'm glad that I Googled that, because these guys match it to a T. They're terrorists, and we're not supposed to negotiate with terrorists. And I used an example of, hold on, Saratov, Russia. Missionaries kidnapped, whatever. So, I don't know when this happened. Yeah, so 1998. In 1998, 2 Mormon missionaries in Saratov, Russia were kidnapped. It's a horrible thing, and the kidnappers held them for ransom. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or as some people call it, the Mormon Church or whatever, which technically wrong, but the LDS Church and the U.S. government refused to pay, because you want to know why? The second they pay them, for the church, more missionaries all across the world are going to be kidnapped and held for ransom. For the U.S. government, Americans all across the world are going to be kidnapped and held for ransom. We do not negotiate with terrorists. We do not give them an inch. So yeah, I think that we should. So let's look at these things that the mayor has agreed to. Requiring body-worn video recording at protests. You mean like what cops already have? Cops already have body cams, but whatever. Or that doesn't actually say who it's for. I'm assuming if they're talking about cops. Filling a motion to terminate the SPD's consent decree. Pardon? What is a consent? A consent decree is an agreement or settlement that resolves a dispute between 2 parties with the admission of guilt in a criminal case or liability, and most often refers to such a type. Okay, so what they don't want that. Okay. updating the Seattle Police Department's use of force policies, requiring the display of officer name and badge number. I mean, they basically already do that. Statewide independent investigation for officers who use deadly force. Okay. Additional resources for more transparency for officer discipline. Review of SPD's crowd management policies, banning the use of tear gas and less lethal. Okay, no, tear gas is actually good. I support tear gas. Because if you're rioting, get the frick out. Let's see. Banning the use of tear gas and less lethal crowd management tactics. National Guard redeployed. Oh, so that's what they want redeployed. No filing criminal charges against protesters and preserving the CHOP. That's not how about and I don't know, because I usually support Trump, but there's a lot of people who kind of don't right now. Yeah, I'm not talking about the protesters. I'm talking about people who are Trump supporters, because he's really not doing enough to do Chaz. Get the National Guard in there, kick them out. They have a warlord and crap. Hold on. I forgot where treason is in the United States. Treason, as defined by the U.S. Constitution. Treason against the United States shall consist of only in living war against them, or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. No person shall be convicted of treason unless the testimony of 2 witnesses, blah blah blah. So, I mean, you could say that they're not living war against the United States, but we use precedents. Precedent, Civil War. Confederates seceding from the Union. Treason. You have the Chaz. Also treason. Trump, step up your game. Frickin' deploy the National Guard, kick them out, use whatever you have to. And we will not stand for this, because we need to draw the line somewhere. And hundreds of issues, we've given them an inch and they've ran a mile. I don't know, but this I shall say. If you are currently supporting Chaz, screw you. Get the heck out of a country, you treasonous jerk. Stay safe, my friends. 'Tis crazy times.